It has been a difficult day for the top seeds here at the Corona Bali Protected, presented by Hurley. Can Gabriel Medina turn their fortune around? He's up against Michael February, the man they call freestyle. Had a great earlier round performance, Michael February, so Gabriel Medina will have to be on point. But you'd like his chances, Strider, with the way the judges have been rewarding that progressive approach, and Medina just so capable with those big backhand air reverses. He's got a good chance here.
One thing to mention, though, February, if he gets confidence, he can do really well.
Here goes Medina. The 2014 world champ driving up into the pocket. And there's a display of power on the backhand that we've yet to see, I think, from the rest of the field. Medina just obliterated that second section.
I'm sorry, but what was Mike Freestyle February doing to let him have that? He paddled to his outside thinking like he had priority or something.
I think Michael February did right away at the break. It was a bit of a throwaway though, but he did have right away here. What a second turn that was, though.
This is ridiculous. Comes up, slams it. Not as good as this one. Wham! I mean, come on. How fierce and fast and core strength out was that second turn. That thing had just intent written all over it.
Out in this round 3, that widens that gap for him. Let's see if he can go mad. He does. Looney loses it there, but you can tell he is just looking fierce. He's looking like a predator at the top of the food chain.
How much he works, too. He's got so much time in the gym.
Michael February, the 24-year-old rookie, representing South Africa, driving up into the lip. And he has planted some big air reverses in the free surfing sessions and in competition already. Nothing better than going for a swim and riding a couple of waves. But just on 16 minutes remaining here, Medina, he's trying to back up that 7.5. Big wall standing up, goes on the attack and blitzes that first corner up into the lip once again. 2 solid turns to kick this one off. Just moving in fast motion at the moment. Spotlight and the attention out there at the moment with the size of these big backhand turns.
I mean, this wave, I think, surprised Medina with how hard it bowled up right here. That thing just went ballistic. See it spitting out the back underneath him, and he still does really well to find the lip line twice, but look how much power was in that. The whitewater took him down really quick, but right here, look at this thing cup out. So he comes off the bottom, and this thing lurches right there. Look at that lip line just basically just perfectly folding over, and he had to drop out of the sky after he hit it. See that, all that air spitting out of the barrel right there? That means that wave sucked in a bunch of air because the tube was so big.
Still going to be rewarded for those first 2 hits, and Michael February behind him, finding a bit of cover. Goes to the rail, up into the bowl, mixing up his approach, and now looking for a finish on the inside. Swings his board into a reverse. But just digs that tail end of that flat water a little too much and doesn't complete the rotation.
Really great wave for him. I mean, selection. I think it surprised him with how amazing the wave actually was. And freestyle, you know, February, just his intent isn't there in comparison to the intent of Gabriel Medina.
I think the intent is there, but the power just isn't. And you look at the wave for Michael, it's a lot smaller than Gabriel's, but even still, the wave is kind of controlling and limiting what he can do on the wave.
I feel like I've seen him have that like rail line and the power and him look like he's got it, but I feel like if you don't have it mentally and distribute that through your body and fit the wave with your body the right way, you start to lose how well you can ride that wave.
And there is a big show unfolding out here at the moment. Michael February trying to get himself into this heat, finds some cover, trips up before finding the exit, but just before he went to break, a big exchange. Gabriel Medina just showing an incredible amount of power on one of the most cupped out faces that we've seen all day. It's funny too, that family thing. Sometimes I think it actually takes away from the skill, the coaching skill that some of these family members have. As we see Medina up again without priority, whipping his board into an extremely vertical turn on that first section. Doesn't juice much more out of that wave, but I just wanted to make that point. The world title in there, a runner-up finish, and also a couple of third places. So he is really the most consistent performer on the championship tour.
He's got the full package all the way around. He's, got a strong land act.
And he is just watching very closely. Gabriel knows what to do in this situation, and that is just try and throw everything you can at some of these medium-sized waves. And he is again on fire, just throwing an unbelievable sequence of turns. Not completing many rides in this heat so far, but it hasn't mattered. The power in these waves that he's displacing is just unbelievable.
Like he's saying, calm down. Your opponent's comboed, but he's a frother. He comes out of his skin in the water. He's a surfer, and he loves just absolutely attacking it. And right now, he's feeling it. You can see how much he's feeling it as he's riding these waves. Rico's a little more polished, so we'll see how that plays out.
I agree with you there, as Medina looks to take to the sky. Pulls out halfway through that move, just over 6 minutes to go.
Kind of lost that. I mean, if he could pick it up, let's see it.
So just trying to break combination here. Michael February, nice grab rail car. There's some of those creative lines that we were talking about. Just trying to link together some moves through the inside here. Nice little layback jam to finish that one off. It'll probably be one of his better waves.
Yeah, that's maybe going to come in around a 4, I'd say. This first turn, it was sticky, kind of hit the whitewater line coming back down. It didn't work for him. And then, the rest of it was kind of off the tail. Nothing ever really driven through on the rail anywhere, and it just never gave him the opportunity to lay into anything that he really wanted, and that's unfortunate.
Has those cool limbs, puts everything in a good place. It's fun to watch, but Medina's up again now, trying to get rid of that 7.5. So swift in transition, whipping that board vertically. Again, just gets tangled up on that backhand reverse, but somehow reels it in and rides on out. Just the 2 turns.
What did February get on that last one? Look at this. Let's go through the replay. This squared up. I mean, he is going straight 12 o'clock, probably even further. I mean, he's going to 12:15 and then whips the reverse under the lip right there. Oh, so fun to watch. But watch the bottom turn. Foot is just planted on that tail, and he just throws it. Look at the amount of water. I call that a Christmas tree because the water just goes straight up into the air and absolutely blows it through the tail there on the end and whips it around. Core strength right there.
It actually sort of took away from his elasticity there for a couple of seasons, but it looks like he's really worked on his flexibility, and you could see it on show in that last reverse, just the contortion of his limbs. He's so strong at the barreling venues on tour, such a good tube rider. He has the power, which we've seen on display, and when he gets in a pickle and needs a big individual turn, he can throw it down. Speaking of individual turns, Michael February showing us what he can do. Nice reverse to kick that one off.
Come down on a section like that could be pretty hard to deal with. Back to February. He goes up, he sees the lip line, but the wave's not really cupped out, so the section of consequence wasn't really there, so ended up leaving the maneuver a little flat. Still technical and a great little spin out of it. Nice and smooth. But even the score will reflect it. You need to be on a meaty section with those maneuvers to actually warrant a solid score from the judging panel these days.
And Medina on the outside. Just having a good time out here at the moment.
Those are sections of consequence for him to be trying to throw rodeos in on those kind of sections. And that's pretty high risk.
This heat coming to a close. Michael February, he gave us some moments. He worked the crowd, but Medina just too strong here in round 3, and he is moving on through to round number 4. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, Federico Moraes will take on Jeremy Flores.